with your own sexual energy, and to understand that even with those types of feelings, and not just stories about the ego, but you have to go into everything that you feel all the time in order to understand which layers you are interacting with and why, and how your conditioning and the stories behind your conditioning are affecting that and motivating you to either hijack yourself, suppress yourself, or on the other side, on the flip side, to actually open up and be curious and to explore and to develop a conscious connection between your understanding of your spiritual evolution and your actual sexual energy.
Yeah, and there's still a lot of taboo around even talking about sex, like,
Yeah,
as itself, because people don't really understand sexual energy as creative energy, and that you are always co-creating with yourself
yes,
and your stories. So
yes,
there's a level of co-creation that you have with yourself. And then if you aren't really clear about what you're co-creating with yourself and the stories you're telling, or if you're
exactly.
unraveling stories, then when you're in a relationship with another person, you have, if that person's not aware of the stories that they have, you are co-creating with a lot of misunderstood energy.
Yes,
And a lot of times people mistake arousal as sexual energy and think that it's about sex.
yes.
Oh, I'm aroused, so I
Mhm.
need to have playtime by myself, or I need to, and that's they're not the same.
No, they're not, and this
Feel
is why.
aroused when you
Yes,
have a like the rising of sexual energy, of creative energy,
well, the
but
space,
it's
the
not
space of
necessarily about
inspiration.
sex.
Yeah, exactly. It's not really about sex. Creative inspiration will physiologically influence the body almost the same way that sexual arousal does, especially at first. And this is where being able to differentiate between the two and discern the differences in feeling is really, really important, because they actually cause arousal in the nervous system exactly the same way along the same pathways, except the origin point is very different. Creative inspiration is felt more in the heart, and sexual arousal is, well, obviously felt in lower energy centers and the genitals. And oftentimes the two will intermingle because they do connect to the nervous system and influence the physiological nervous system and our energy pathways in almost identical ways. So being able to feel the difference of a heart origin versus a lower energy center or a genital origin
Mhm.
is really important.
Yeah.
And if you don't know how to listen to the body, you'll just get swept away every single time.
Mhm.
And the conditioning that we have in terms of the family stories about sex, the taboo about talking about it in general in society, even though we have a very large portion, especially here in North America, who keep themselves feeling safe and comfortable for the most part, unless they get to a breaking point where they know they want something, they know they need something, and oftentimes what that is really connection with another human being.
Mhm.
And this is also the other thing too, why human sexuality and human sexual energy is generally misunderstood, because it's really about connecting with another mutually supportive space so that we can feel safe.